6, 22, 23, 37, 23, 24. Issa 63. 12-14. Prior to and at the global flood. In the pre-flood period, men had ample evidence of God's power. They knew the way back into Eden was impassable, blocked by powerful spirit creatures. God showed he was alive to what was going on, approving Abel's sacrifice, expressing judgment upon his murderous brother Cain, yet warning men against executing Cain. GE 3. 24. 4. 2-15. Some 1,400 years later, the earth became filled with wickedness and violence. GE 6. 1-5, 11, 12. God expressed displeasure at this situation. After sounding a warning through his servant Noah, he forcefully demonstrated by means of the global flood that he would not allow wicked men to ruin the earth. He did not use his power to force them to worship him but, through Noah's work as a preacher of righteousness, gave them opportunity to change. At the same time he showed his ability to liberate righteous-hearted persons from evil circumstances. 2 Pe 2. 4, 5, 9. Even as his judgment came upon the wicked O textoi acute miritra longo, powerful works 661 peoples to disperse throughout the globe. GE 11. 5-9. Nature gods contrasted with the true God. Ancient documents from Babylon and from points of mankind's migration show that the worship of nature gods such as the Babylonian sun god Shamash and the Canaanite fertility god Baal became very prominent in those early times. The nature gods were associated in men's minds with periodic or cyclic manifestations of power, such as the daily beaming forth of the sun's rays, the seasonal results of solstices and equinoxes producing summer and winter, spring and fall, the winds and storms, the falling of rain and its effect on Earth's fertility in seed time and harvest, and similar evidences of power. These forces are impersonal. So men had to fill in the blank, providing personality for their gods by their own imagination. The personalities they conjured up for their gods were generally capricious. They lacked any definite purpose, were morally debased, and were unworthy of worship and service. Yet the visible heavens and earth give clear proof of a superior source of power that produced all these forces in an interrelated, coordinated arrangement, one giving undeniable evidence of intelligent purpose. To that source the acclamation goes. You are worthy, Jehovah, even our God, to receive the glory and the honor and the power, because you created all things, and because of your will they existed and were created. Re 4. 11. Jehovah is not a God governed by or limited to celestial or earthly cycles. Nor are his expressions of power capricious, erratic, or inconsistent. In each case they reveal something about his personality, his standards, his purpose. The Theological Dictionary of the New Testament, edited by G. Kittel, in treating the view of God contained in the Hebrew Scriptures, thus observes that the important and predominant feature is not force or power but the will which this power must execute and therefore serve. This is everywhere the decisive feature. Translated and edited by G. Bromley, 1971, Volume 2, p. 291. The worship of such nature gods by the Israelites was apostasy, a suppression of truth in favor of a lie, an unreasoning course of worshipping the creation rather than the one who created it. This is what the Apostle states at Romans 1. 18-25. Though invisible, Jehovah God had made his qualities manifest among men, for as Paul says, these are clearly seen from the world's creation onward, because they are perceived by the things made, even his eternal power and godship, so that they are inexcusable. God's control of natural force is distinctive. To prove himself the true God, Jehovah might reasonably be expected to demonstrate his control over the created forces, doing so in a way that would be distinctly connected with his name. PS 135. 5, 6. Since the sun, moon, planets, and stars follow their regular courses, since the earthly atmospheric conditions producing wind, rain, and other effects obey the laws governing them, since locusts swarm and birds migrate, then these and many other normal functions would not suffice to sanctify God's name in the face of opposition and false worship. Nevertheless, Jehovah God could cause the natural creation and elements to testify to his godship by using them to fulfill specific purposes beyond their ordinary function, often at a specifically designated time. Even when the events, such as a drought, a rainstorm, or a similar weather condition, were not unique in themselves, their coming in fulfillment of Jehovah's prophecy made them distinctive. Compare 1 Kai 17. 1. 18. 1, 2, 41-45. In most cases, though, the events were extraordinary in themselves, either because of their magnitude or intensity x 9. 24 or because they occurred in an unusual, even unheard of, way or at an abnormal time. X 34. 10. Once or 12. 16-18. Similarly, the birth of a child was ordinary. But the birth of a child to Otextoi acute miritra longo, powerful works 662 and his daughters, doing so out of consideration for Abraham, his friend. G 18. 25. 19. 27-29. Just 2.